Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. At this point, you're probably wrong. This is not the watch you think it is. But this is built with the same level of integrity as the famous Cartier Tortue CPCP chronograph Monopusher. This is an XL version of that watch that very few people know exist, that features the exact same movement, proportions, and Tortue case. So you're looking at the Tortue XL Monopusher chronograph, a timepiece in rose gold that measures 38 millimeters across, not inclusive of the crown, still thin at 11.7 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 48.3 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now, everyone remembers the F.P. Journe engineered 1998 version, but that watch is also quite small, and it's not to every taste. If you have a larger wrist or a taste for larger watches, it's probably off the menu. Until now. This watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist fits, but frankly, it could also take a much larger wrist. It's not out over the edge, although it is right out to the edge. But you can also see that it's thin, and it has a sloped case flank, and it remains easily cuffable. So this is a version of that watch, a godsend that's actually a little bit scarcer than the original for those who have the big wrist and the taste for the big watch. The strap is no compromise. Large, rectangular scale, symmetrical scales. These are the best and most expensive standard cuts of the animal. It's a semi-gloss finish in black, a little bit of bolstering. You can see in profile that it features a folded edge, it has a monotone stitch, and also that it uses the Cartier Clasp system invented by Louis Cartier, which is why there are no perforations here. The bottom is lined in calfskin. You can see that there is no crimping here. It has not been buckled. The buckle itself, in rose gold like the watch, is the Cartier system. Now, the first deployant clasp ever was created in 1909 by Louis Cartier, and by far the first deployant clasp for a wristwatch. The way it works here is that the strap actually winds up doubling over and tucking underneath. So not only does it not gouge itself and wear down as a result of failures at the perforations, but there's an infinite range of adjustability because you're not at the mercy of pre-perforated holes. And so you have a lot of adjustability and the strap lasts longer. And it gets better. Once this is sized down, the excess strap length all sits underneath the clasp body and the opposite side of the strap, so there's no need for minder loops, and the extra strap just hides underneath there. You can see that the lugs are broader than before, but that the case construction is fundamentally the same. It is a monoblock case, just like the smaller CPCP, and you can see that there's no difference between the case and the bezel. It's all one piece of rose gold, and that seamless look gives it a wonderfully curvaceous, compound, organic look. The case is largely assembled by screws that are inserted laterally. Taking a look, we have the cabochon of sapphire on the crown, which is still faceted. It is still a Monopusher chronograph, and we have the same kind of complex cambered sapphire over the dial as on the smaller version. It's a very difficult piece to cut, fit, and make water resistant, yet this watch has standard 30-meter dress watch water resistance, but it's curved to match the curvature of the case. It's even curved side to side, which is that much more impressive. The dial features a classic Cartier rosette pattern, and then we have a twin register design, chemin de fer, or railroad tracks, for all of the scales. Breguet-style hands for the hours and minutes, and a counterweighted Lancet-style seconds hand for chronograph seconds, chronograph minutes, and running seconds. We have the radially arrayed Cartier Roman numerals with the watchmaker's 4 and the secret signature at 7, and it is a Monopusher chronograph, so when you start it and you stop it, you need to reset. Monopusher, so Monopusher. Now, because it uses an oscillating pinion clutch, not a conventional lateral clutch, watch the seconds hand, watch it start up. Utterly seamless. It doesn't jump like a normal lateral clutch, because this system created by F.P. Journe and Denis Flageolet brings back the oscillating pinion that had long been absent from chronograph design. But it gives you the beauty of a lateral clutch with the seamless engagement of a vertical clutch. You also have the column wheel for crisp engagement and outstanding feel. This is the 045MC, same THA, Journe and Flageolet designed movement that is in the smaller version. Remember, this is the 2781 reference, so just keep that in mind. You can see that it features Cartier monograms on the bridges, rose gold gilding on the base plate. Very credible bevels, not just on the brass bridges, but also on the satin surfaced steel parts. Those are mirror anglaged on their edge. We have solarization on the ratchet wheel, mirror polished screws, and then satination on all of the tops of the chronograph springs, levers, clutches, and hammers. 40-hour power reserve manual wind, pivots on 22 joules, and beats away at 3 hertz. And of course, this is really what you're buying. You're buying two things here. One, the peerless name equity of Cartier and its ageless designs. Cartier doesn't need to constantly redesign its watches. Like the Porsche 911, shapes like the Crash and the Tortue and the Tank are evergreen. And then the movement by some of the greatest modern masters, created in an era when they were not household names and not yet stars in the industry. A very cool way to own a watch that's effectively both a debutune and a journe while still being a Cartier. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.